Hey, what's up guys? I'm here today to give you a tutorial on my new deep house track I'm currently undergoing the process of making. The reason why I'm posting another video to do with this track is to sort of give you guys out there who may struggle in terms of inspiration side of things on how to make your track develop more and also speed up your workflow. Now there's a few sounds which I've added since I last showed it to you. I'm just going to show you quickly what they are in a second, but this video hopefully is going to cover some aspects which you may not have thought of, and also give you some tips and tricks which also you may not have thought of, but let's get straight into it. Right, start off with the new sound I've added, well, one of the new sounds is a sample kick, which sounds like this. There's a little bit of low end to it. But the reason why I liked it is because it sounded quite gritty, and if I add my original kick drum together at the same time, I just felt as though it gave the original kick more of a punch by this gritty sound. So that's that. The next new sound I added was white noise. Now I'm not too sure if I played that to you in my last video, but I was feeling that this track wasn't really going anywhere, and with most dance tracks you hear white noise. There's not really a dance track you hear or a house track you hear which doesn't have white noise in it. So this is what this sounds like. I'm just going to play it to you. I know you all know what it sounds like, but yeah, that's basically what it sounds like in a nutshell. But I've added some EQing and a low cut. The reason why I've added both, because the EQ generally does what you need anyway, but the reason why I've added a low cut is because if I didn't have that added, I was just sort of hearing it as like a solid sound. It had a lot more of a hit to it, so I just wanted to kind of thin that out a little bit by adding a low cut. I'll play it to you now. To me personally, that sounds better. It might not sound much more different to you guys, but to me, I was feeling that sounded better. So I've done a lot of a low end cut to cut off the sub frequencies, and a tiny bit of a high cut, because if this was played in a club, it would just sound messy, and you know, all you'd hear is the white noise. You wouldn't really hear the track generally that well. So that's the white noise. What else is there? Oh yeah, there's snare I've added. Now that's yet again something which doesn't sound that exciting, but I've laid it underneath the clap, which is the same sort of approach I did for the kick drum, if you remember. You can only just hear the snare underneath the clap, but it's for the same reason with the kick drum. I added the snare because it gave the clap more of a punch, and it also sort of stands out in the mix a little bit more better. So that's that. There's also, oh yeah, a low tom, a bit of percussion, and that was from the Ultra Beat in the deep house kits, and it's here. It's got very short decay, which is 100 milliseconds. I've also got the volume normal, top row's turned off, bottom row, middle row, sorry, is turned off, but the bottom row where the sample is left on. So that's that. And the plugins I've used for that is slight compression, sample delay, stereo delay, and overdrive. Reason why I've used these plugins, I'll show you in a second. Firstly, sample delay gave the sound more width, so if I take it off, I don't know if you can hear the difference, but it just sounds normal to me. So if I add it now, it sounds more wider. So that's that reason why I put that on there. And the compression is generally to help it stand out in the mix amongst other sounds. If I take it off, it's lost a lot of the intensity to it. When you add the compressor, it gave it more of intensity. As you can see, I finally just slightly adjusted the compressor. I didn't want to do too much compressing to it because I didn't want to lose much of the dynamics to the sound. Sample delay, no, stereo delay, sorry. I've done 5% and 5% on left and right feedback. 85 Hz low cut, 10% of the output mix. I've left the actual delay knobs as they were. So that's the reason why I put this on actually as well is because it helps make this particular sound a bit more groovy. If I turn it off, it just sounds simple. After a while, if you keep listening to that sound like that, you'll get bored of listening to it. I personally think anyway. So by adding the delay, gives it more of a swing. And that's another tip actually you guys might like to know. If you add slight delay to a specific sound, in this case this one, it will also help you with swing side of things. It's all very well quantizing the swing as well, which also helps, but slight delay adjustments to a sound will help bounce your track along a bit more nicely. But there's also an overdrive distortion plugin I've used to give it more of a gritty sound. I've turned the drive all the way down, the output mix is at normal, and the tone is all the way to the full. I'll turn it off. It sounds softer now. But it helps it sound more and more intense, so with the compressor as well, it really does help make the sound stand out quite well in the mix. So that's that. There's also reverse clap. I'll tell you what, if I play the kick drum at the same time, it'll sound better with the clap as well. So with the reverse clap, that also helps the groove side of things by adding a reverse clap. I just felt this track was lagging, so I added that. There's also rides. Now rides you've all probably heard in a lot of deep house tracks, but not necessarily just deep house, other types of dance music as well. I'll play it on its own quickly, what it sounds like. That's it. It's not very exciting on its own, but if you had a kick drum, clap and a hi-hat, I made it the same pattern as the hi-hat, which is, where is it? There it is. It's the same note placement as a hi-hat, so it helps sort of give the hi-hat more of a groove as well. So that's that. And then going on to the basses, the original bass you heard firstly was this one, which is just basically a subby low end bass, but I was feeling as though that was getting a bit boring after a while, so I wanted to kind of make it more exciting, which would also in turn help the track as well. So there's this one, Sawtooth Bass. The plugins I've used for this is compression, EQing, sample delay again, and a bit crusher. Same reasons again for the other one. Sample delay makes it sound wider. You can hear it sounds normal now, and it also has a lot of the low end to it as well. By adding that, it takes off some of the low end and also makes it sound wider. So that's that. Obviously the same reason again for the compressor, making it stand out. EQ'd some of the low end off, but by 35 Hertz. I've added a bass boost to plus 5 dB, also 100 Hertz, which is how wide it is. If I turn it down, you should see it goes shorter. So yeah. And generally as well, if you look carefully at the analyzer, try, if you want to do a bass boost, to make it roughly the same length as this area, because it will make it stand out a bit more. But don't do too much with EQing in terms of the bass frequencies, because it will just sound muddy and it will make your mix sound ridiculous. So that's that. I've also added a bit of mid drop, whatever this one's called, so I've dropped that down a little bit. And then there's obviously the bit crusher, which gives it that gritty sound. But this makes it sound more rougher. So that's that bass, and there's also one last bass I added, which you can't really hear that well. If I show you the plugins I've used as well for all three basses. ES2 for the first bass sounds that you heard. This one, and then the last one. But if you look closely to these two synths, you'll notice the cutoff is moving. I've got the optimization going, and if I take off those first two and just play you the last one, you can hear there's no low end to it, but listen to the sound. So as you can hear, by me adding this last bass sound, I was feeling that it drove the bass line along a bit more better as well. If I just mute this and just have the first two, might even turn it up a bit more to hear it better. So as you can hear, even though it sounds good with that second one I have added, it's not really going anywhere. That's as it is in a nutshell. So I added this. Which drives it along better. But yeah, that's it guys. Please rate, comment and subscribe. And I'm just going to play you my track now. Let me know what you think. Cheers guys. And there we go, guys. It's a work in progress. I'm starting to get there slowly. I'm trying to take my time with this track because a lot of my other tracks, I just guess I kind of rushed them a little bit. But this one, I want to take my time with. I'm really feeling it's going somewhere. So let me know what you think, guys. I also forgot to mention about that other pad you heard when I first played it to you, which sounds like this. I just felt it gave more of an atmosphere with this pad, the original one. But I'm not too sure at the moment about this new pad. So if you guys can also leave me some feedback on what you think about that one, if it sounds good in the mix, whether I should leave it out or keep it in. Yeah, just throw loads of comments as much as you can. Give me some thumbs, you know, whatever. Cheers, guys.